Hi everyone, welcome back to Lou's channel. For today's video I'm going to do some improvements or start taking measurements for some improvements in Lily, because there are a few things that need fixed before I start camping again. Now, I haven't been camping since I think it was my trip to Sandylands. So I think that was the last time I was camping, which was in October. We're now in January. It's been a long time. And I think, if I'm honest, the knock at my door or whatever it was when I was wild camping by myself that night has slightly put me off. I really don't want to admit it, but it has. But not only that, the weather has been crap as well. We've had constant rain basically, or it's been too cold, as in snowing or frosty, and I don't yet have a diesel heater in my van because I don't know where to put it. I'm just very much lacking space, because it is a micro camper that sleeps two adults, two children, or sleeps one adult, two children, which is the majority of what I use it for. And because we've got the two extra seats in the back, even though they do fold away and don't take up very much room, you can't put a diesel heater underneath the seats, because obviously they need to fold down to lock into place and stuff. So it's really been a problem actually trying to figure out where this diesel heater is going to go, because it's really a must. We live in Scotland. If it rains, we can't dry our clothes. So now we do have waterproof gear and everything like that, but it still needs to dry, and it would just be nice to have something. So we're currently looking into any suggestions for anything small that could heat up the van without being dangerous. But ideally I want to get a diesel heater put in, so we're just going to make some improvements to the van to try and make it a little bit more user friendly. So my first thing that I want done in the van is to change my water containers underneath my sink. I've got this big massive water container. I don't know how big it is, but it takes up most space underneath my sink, which is annoying because we never seem to use that much water, and water's quite easy to get. So we just use the water that's in the tank really for, well, cooking food and for washing dishes. Obviously we'll be using it to fill up our juice bottles and stuff like that as well, but we also carry bottled water as extras for that. And I don't have a waste tank or a grey water tank in this van. When I bought the van, it was just a pipe that goes out onto the ground. So I've been having to deal with that, because obviously you can't just leave your grey water. So I've been putting it into a bucket and stuff like that, the grey water, and then carrying it with me until I can find a drain or somewhere where I can discard it. Now our grey water is only dishwater, so that's all it is, and it's eco-friendly, fairy liquid or whatever it's called, eco-friendly dishwasher, whatever it's called that we use to wash our dishes. So that is what we use. But it's so annoying if you've done your dishes and you've got nowhere to put it, and then you're having to put a bucket out underneath the pipe, and then taking the bucket into the van and just hoping it doesn't leak, so while you're driving and stuff. So it's been a bit of an issue. So I want to get two tanks underneath my sink. So I need to start measuring the size and go from there to see what I can actually get. So that's it, and I'll probably order that off of Amazon or eBay, or maybe even just go to a local caravan shop and see if they have what I need. And I also want to stock taking what food I have and stuff like that, because in February we're hoping to get to go away while camping, just get back into it. I really want to take a stock of what food we've got and what we need to get and what we need to bin, because everything's just been left since October, so I don't really know where we're at. So I'm going to show you me measuring my tanks. So as you can see, this is my tank here. It's only one tank, and it's absolutely massive for the space that I have in the van. I'm sure we could come up with a better solution for water storage than having such a big tank. even if it is just going to a petrol station and filling up some plastic 2 litre bottles full of water to top it up as we need. Or we have a 5 litre plastic tank that I don't have in here as well. It's in the house just now, that can store obviously 5 litres of water, and we generally use that for drinking water. So I'm just going to measure it and see what I've got space wise. So I've got 45 just to be on the safe side, and 30, I'll go for 40. So that's my measurements taken. So now I need to go and have a look on Amazon or eBay and see what I can get, and hopefully get, ideally I want some 2 tanks, so like down the middle here, one being my grey water and one being my fresh water, and we'll sort out the piping and everything to go with that, to completely and utterly block off the pipe that's down here that just goes out into the ground when you take the plug out your sink, because it's not practical at all. And I would have certainly never put it in, but as I say, I bought the van as a camper van already, so a lot of things were done. Fair enough, we ripped everything out and started the build again, because it wasn't practical for a family of 4, and it's probably still not practical for a family of 4, but it gets us what we need, and that's what's important. So I'm hoping to get some sort of tanks to go in and make it a lot better for our daily use. This is what little space we actually have in Lily. So that's my kettle behind there that you probably can't see because it's so dark. It holds a cup, our plates and our bowls, and a few bits of porridge and spread, and a pot and a pan underneath our gas cooker. And down here we've got some more plates and bowls, or sorry, cups and bowls, and some pasta and some stuff there, our gas bottle, and just down here is our condiments. And then we've got this big tank, and really that's all we have space for. So I'm hoping if we can get some smaller tanks that we'll get just some sort of, maybe just even a little bit, just to store some cans or some rice or pasta, anything at all. Any little bit of space that we can get would be amazing. So this is Lily in her current state right now. She's not looking the tidiest, and we have got like a lot of food and junk basically in these pots and underneath here and underneath our fridge as well. So I'm just going to take this time to give Lily a clear out. So as I was saying, I'm just going to take this time to clear Lily out a bit, because obviously she's not been used, so I'm just going to give her some attention and see if there's anything that needs fixed, or any damp, or just clear up the floors and the cooker and the sink because it's not been used, and get ready to go and try and move things around and see if I can get any more space. So it's all pretty boring, but it's the things you've got to do. As I say, it's a tiny van, and we are generally a family of 3, so 2 kids and 1 adult that travels in this van. So I just want to get it sorted. So here I go. Honestly, I don't know where all the dirt comes from. It's absolutely crazy. It's such a small space, and it's hardly been used, and it was absolutely covered in dirt and stones. So that's the floors all cleaned. Most of the baskets are all cleaned. So I'm just going to finish off doing the rest of that, and then I'm going to start pulling Cara's bed and everything behind that off as well, and see what I need to bin and what I'm keeping. People always seem to be really interested in how I fit everything into a small van, so I've just went into the house and cleaned the tubs that had any sugar or coffee or anything in it, and basically how I fit everything in that I need to get away with for a few days to a week is quite literally, sorry, 2 seconds, is quite literally squeezing everything I possibly can into every nook and cranny I have, which is very difficult. But it's worth it in the long run for the sake of fuel and everything like that. So this is probably the most space that I have for storage in the van for stuff like bedding and stuff like that. So here is where I'm thinking of getting a diesel heater put in, and I don't really know how it's going to work because this is the highest part of the van. It's where the seats are, so I don't know if the hole for the exhaust will have to be drilled elsewhere, but this is where I'm thinking getting put in, and just having a shelf across here for all the bedding and a shelf above here because otherwise the bedding gets stuck in the slats. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. So this is great. On the time that I've been trying to build the shelves that I want for underneath, my DJI gimbal, I can't remember what it's called, sorry, has now out of charge, which is so annoying because it can't hold my phone the way I need it to be. So I've just lifted everything off of Cara's bed, and I'm just going to empty the boxes. Her bed's not damp, it's absolutely fine, which is a relief. There don't seem to have been any damp over the winter, so that's great. No idea how long it's took to put in a silly wee shelf. It has been hours because it's just trying to get the right cuts and awkward shapes. Underneath, let me show you. So underneath here, they were slats there before, so I've put this in so the bedding can't catch on the slats, because that is super annoying. And then the shelf's just going to go in here. I've used that tin there as the height, so in case the diesel heater can't go here for some reason, I at least want to be able to store food. So we went from the height of a tin, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's done. 2 seconds. I also got bored of tidying out, making the shelf, cutting it and whatever, so I've tidied it out, these boxes, and got rid of a black bag worth of stuff that I don't need out of the van or stuff that was out of date. So that's been a good job all around. But everything in this van just takes absolutely ages to do anything. I can't believe how long stuff takes. So once the shelf is put in, there will be a lot more space to either get the diesel heater in or for storage for food. Either way it's going to be a plus, but oh my, it is a nightmare to do anything in this van. I take it it's the exact same with all van builds, but oh, I can't believe how long it takes to put in a shelf. To put in a shelf in a house is like a 20-minute job, but here it's forever. One of the better things about van life is everything needs charged. So I'm charging my DJI Osmo thing and my phone at the same time. So that's not bad. At least I can do that. So this is the brackets getting put in to hold the new shelf. As I say, it's not went smoothly as always. Just above tin height. So if I can't get a diesel heater there for some reason, because obviously it's got to go through the chassis of the van, and that, like, it's a hand higher up than my actual floor. So there's my actual floor, and then this is where the seats go, and it's at a full hand higher up. So I don't know if that's going to be a go ahead or not. Let me pause you and I'll get back once the shelf's in. So all the brackets are in and this is the shelf going in. It's a neat fit, so I don't see any reason to screw it in, it should just sit there nice and neat. And just to make sure, my can easily fit underneath, and if I do have a diesel heater, we should think that should be adequate room. If not, we can move the shelf up a little bit, so hopefully it'll help with storage or my diesel heater. So I have got junk absolutely everywhere. My van's an absolute tip. It's super annoying, and my DJI Osmo, whatever it is, ran out of battery, and so did my phone, so we're currently running on like 9% battery, which is not great at all. So now I'm just going to tidy up my van, and hopefully that's it. I'm just making a battery cover now as well for my battery, so that just to make sure it's extra safe, and hopefully that's me done. I can't be bothered doing any more today. I can't believe how long a shelf takes to put in. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Even fits pot noodles underneath it, so that's a great extra that I wasn't expecting. So now I'm just going to get all this bedding and put it back up in Cara's bed. It's annoying, but another job that needs done. Neatly folding it. Won't stay neat for long, but at least it's done. So what have you been up to this Sunday? Have you been up to anything more exciting than this? Oh dear. Anybody else with a van have all these issues that it takes 500 years to get any little job done? And that's us parked outside of our house with all tools that we need and everything like that. So I hope I'm not there alone on everything taking forever. I need to check my gas is also still working. I think it's working, but that's another day's job, because obviously I need to order the parts for the sink now. I've took the measurements. So that's it. Her wee Disney sleeping bag will be soon warm enough to use again. It wasn't really warm enough during the winter. But we do have other ones underneath. Last wee blanket, her wee cot blanket. I always kept it and never ever used it. And it just fits perfectly up here for her wee bed. So that's that sorted and looking as neat as it can look. Just put this pillow up on top as well while we're not using it, and all the boxes have been cleaned out. I've got a full black bag of rubbish that I've took out my van. I need to be less wasteful this year. That's basically full of crisps and sweets that have went out of date, and pasta and stuff like that we weren't going to use, open biscuit packets and stuff like that, and then just the dirty stuff from wiping the floors and stuff like that. So it's not really been the most interesting video, but I think this is the stuff that it's good to know, like all the wee extras and the wee upgrades that you make. I thought my van was pretty much sorted, but obviously it's really not. There are always wee bits and wee extra spaces where you can fit more stuff in. Great. I was also trying to figure out how to put a shelf up here, like all the other van lifers have, but I've just realised that I think it's too much effort, because we haven't taken away the actual car part. I don't really know what that's called, so I'm just calling it the car park part. We haven't took that away, so the roof, we've got a hole here for some reason, but the roof is just, it is how it is. So I don't really want to take that off and then having to find something to put over it, either carpet it or put wood all the way over it. And I don't really fancy having a wood across my roof either, because from YouTube I've seen so many problems with a wooden roof and it falling down, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. It's too much effort for me, so I would have to find something else. So I'm not too sure. I've also been thinking about a pop-up tent, not not one that's on the outside, one that you can actually access from the inside. Sorry, I don't exactly know the actual name for that, but I've been looking at them. Somebody in America had one, so I'm going to start ringing around to see if I could get one of them added as well, maybe next year, or the year next year maybe. Just as Cara gets bigger, I don't know how long she's going to fit in that bed for, and if we want to go away as a family of 4, then if she can't fit in that bed, or we can't come up with another solution, then we're not going to have enough space to go away as a family of 4, and I want to make sure that I definitely have enough space for the 4 of us. I know it's not very comfortable, but it's okay for what we need it. Like, it's tight and it is annoying and whatever, but it's good enough for what we need it for, and the amount of times that we go away as a family of 4 is not often. But as the girls get bigger, it will be good if we could get a pop-up tent. I don't know if that's possible because I've got glass all the way around, like windows. I don't know if it's possible because they had non-high top vehicle they got it done on, but I'm going to have a wee look and have a wee ring around to see if it is possible, because that would be amazing. Just need to see. So I'm just going to continue tidying up, and I'll get back to you with the battery box. Bye for now. So this is me just testing and making sure the gas is still working after a few months of not using it. First one works fine, and the second one. That also works fine. No problems there at all, thank goodness. Always nice to know everything's still working. This is me putting all my bedding in my new shelf. Let's hope it all fits. I maybe should put it back into the actual sleeping bag bags. One more sleeping bag to go. So as you could probably tell, that just fitted in and no more. Sorry if you couldn't see me, but I didn't know how else to do it. New to YouTube, aren't I? So trying to get all these angles and everything. So that's how the shelving unit looks with the box back on and it all closed up. So it's very neat, and you wouldn't have known there anything different until you open it. Let me just give you a quick tour of my van. So that's Cara's bed. That's the sofa and the bed. It's not out, sorry, it's such a small van to film in. There's the toilet, the fridge, and the kitchen, and that's it. So a good job done. The difference is unreal. It's getting even storage of a picnic bench and a blanket, as well as the sleeping bag storage. Very handy. It's my wee battery box covered, and the switch for my fridge. I pull that up and my fridge goes on, and push it down and my fridge goes off, and we'll also store our jackets on top of it. Absolutely perfect. A massive thank you for watching my video on Lou's Travels. I hope you enjoyed me moaning about how long everything takes in van life. But that's the game. It's all about documenting what actually happens and what we actually do. Thanks again. Bye for now.